my name's Katie. I'm with the Postgraduate Association. I'm usually, when we're on campus, based at the Gold Coast. But before we get started, I'd just like to acknowledge that the country that I am coming to you from, I'm on Yugambeh country at the moment. I'd like to acknowledge the country and the original custodians of the land on which we all live, work and meet, and acknowledge the ancestors, elders past and present and emerging, and recognise the contribution to the culture and knowledge of Southern Cross University made by Aboriginal people. And I'd also like to acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded and that inside and outside of the buildings of the university always was and always will be Aboriginal land. So as I said, my name is Katie. I have a short series of slides to share with you today that we'll share about our association, which is the Southern Cross Postgraduate Association. You'll often hear it referred to as the SCPA. And we are your student association, here to support you as you go through your postgraduate journey at SCU. So I'll just see if I can, everyone can see my screen right now, can't they?
Yep.
This is introducing our management committee. We had our annual general meeting just, I believe, last week. And we have an amazing team of students who manage the SCPA, which I'll introduce right now. There's a few of them here today. Shay Brown, our president. Did you want to say hello?
Hello.
We've got you here, and we've actually got Megan as well, who has just stepped up and committed to helping out this year, which is really wonderful. Welcome, Megan.
Thank you.
And we also have 3 staff who, my name's Katie, and we're all available to contact for support. But Craig Wilson, who I'll get him to say hello, he's physically here with us now. Craig's based in Lismore, and Craig also takes care of our amazing helpline. Did you want to talk? You've got 30 seconds, Craig.
No, I'll leave it with you, Katie. Hi, everyone.
No problem.
Good to see you all.
Craig has been here since the beginning, and he has such a wealth of knowledge about the university and the ins and outs of how things all work around here. So he is really excellent to call up on our helpline. To find out any information. He'll often refer you to the right people to get the right information. So he's a really valuable asset to our association. And the wonderful Leslie is based at Coffs Harbour. And she, unfortunately, has not been able to make it today, but she is always available and really amazing to talk to as well. So there are 3 dedicated staff at the CPA here to support you through your journey and to really get some of the initiatives underway that the Postgraduate Association is able to work for you. One of those things is that we represent you as an association at a national level. So there's an organisation called Kappa, which is the Council of Australian Postgraduate Associations. And you will see us here at, I think this was last year at the SCM with the new president from Kappa. And so we work very closely with Kappa. Shay is actually the queer officer at Kappa, and she works really closely, particularly in the time that we are dealing with right now, with lots of changes to education and to funding. And there's been some really great campaigns that Kappa has spearheaded to help represent you and your needs throughout your education. Another thing that we do, which is a really exciting thing that's coming up this year, is every year SCPA hosts the Praxis Conference, which is your student conference. This year it's a virtual conference and we're really excited, even though we are sad that we're not necessarily meeting together. We're also really excited about the new potentials of connecting people in, and applications for the conference to present at the conference only opened, I think, yesterday. So please come along to our conference, but also consider presenting. It doesn't matter where you are in your career and in your life at SCU. You might be able to present the beginnings of your research or some really exciting things that you have that you're passionate about. So feel free to look into that. The other thing that we do at this year, we've been rolling out a series of training workshops and resources. Here's some examples of some of the things we've done this year, but there's a lot more in the works, particularly in the lead up to our conference. We're going to be running a whole series of workshops on presentation skills, and those things are really transferable to the workplace. So sometimes in your courses, you'll be learning certain skills, but a lot of the things that we do here at the SCPA is try to really fill those gaps of the things that you're not necessarily learning in the day-to-day of your courses, but the things that we are offering are really going to help build you as a person and as a future, to build your future skills as well. So there's some really exciting Word and Excel courses coming up that are in the works, and also some developing your online presence as well. And this is where I'm hoping to be able to take you to our Blackboard site. If you are new to SCU, you might hear these words like the Blackboard site, and I think something was mentioned before that I had no idea what the word meant. So it's often quite confusing. I'm going to try and show you just here. I'm hoping this will work. You can see this is can everyone see the website here? My SCU website. So what you do when you jump onto the Southern Cross University website, you will come across My SCU, and hopefully you've all been here and had a little look. If you haven't, that's okay. I'm going to show you now. So you'll come up with something like this and a login. So this is my student login. So hopefully this is what you guys will see as well. It will look a bit different because we're all doing different courses. And so on here, I'm assuming if you're enrolled in different courses, you might have some things here. I don't, I'm doing my PhD. But in this information and work group site section, you will see the SCU postgraduate student site. Now that's the site that we'll always, when I'm referring to things, I say the Blackboard site, but I probably should call it our postgraduate student site, which when you click onto, it will take you here. And it takes you first to our announcement page. And we will occasionally send you out announcements, and you'll receive those in your emails. I try not to do it too often. I do understand that there are a lot of emails that you get sent from university. So you won't hear from me very often, but this is where our announcements are. Down the side here, you can see that there are, I've tried to arrange our resources here in a really understandable manner. So if you're looking for some extra help, say with your academic writing, especially because postgraduate study, it involves a different level of academic writing than say the undergraduate courses you may have done. We actually have our past workshops recorded here. So this was a workshop that we did on writing a literature review, and I'm not sure where everyone who's come here today is up to, but often you are required to complete a literature review. So you can jump on there, and I won't do it now, but if you click on that, the video will start, and there's a few little PDFs there with the slides from the workshop and different things. So as you move down, there's a whole bunch of different things here that you can find. Same goes for research skills. We did a student panel last week, which had 5 students who have done interviews in their research, who came and answered some questions. That video is there for you if you wanted to watch that and learn from that. We have in software, there is some really excellent Excel skills workshops that you can send yourself through. So there's all sorts of things down here. And down the bottom, there is just 3 sections here that I've been trying to compile some really excellent information. Sometimes there's a really great blog that really deals with some of the issues that postgraduate students come up against. I will pop it all on here. So for example, These are some resources for researchers. I try to collate them here. They have lots of interesting. So it's a bit of fun. If you're ever feeling like you just need some extra help, this is the place that we collate all of our extra information. The only other thing I'd like to show you is our website. We have a website, which I often will post updates on here, but on our website, we have an events calendar, which keeps all of our events. And just to close, I'm just going to highlight that I have an event that is ongoing, which every single Monday at midday for an hour, I run a virtual office, which means that I just open up my Zoom room and I'm here every Monday for an hour. And then every Wednesday night, because I understand people work and they may not be able to make it during the day, every Wednesday night, I'm also available between 7 and 7:30, and I'm always happy to stay longer if we're chatting, that's fine. But because we're all a little bit isolated right now, I've opened up this virtual office so that we can have some communication amongst us postgrads. So this is what I'm offering to try and replicate that meeting in the quad that we're not really getting to do at the moment. And I'm always available to come on, and hopefully there'll be other people there and we can all have a chat together. So that's it for me. I'd like to open it up to questions and comments. I'm not sure if you'd like to share first, Shay.
I would. I do have one comment. I just want to support what Katie said about coming to our conference. I first presented 2 weeks after enrolment, and I just basically enthusiastically stood up and talked about all of the exciting things I thought that I might like to do, which of course bears no resemblance to how my PhD is now unfolding all these years later. But it's been such a wonderful platform to gain confidence. And I've subsequently presented at our conference, our in-house conference, before any presentations at for confirmation and for conferences and any other presentations. It's such a safe, caring and enthusiastic and supportive environment. So please consider, even if you only want to do something short, join in. There's all sorts of platforms and it's there for you. And because it's collegial, you're not being judged, you won't be questioned, you won't be pinned against a wall about what theories you've thought about or what you think about them. It'll just be encouraging. So please consider that. Thank you.
I agree. Praxis is my favourite part of the year, every year. I'm always waiting for it. So yeah, it's so much fun. And if anyone is doing a master's or PhD and they want advice or help from other PhD students who are a little bit further along the track, always feel free to email us. Aren't we, Sally? We're always happy to help other HDR students because we want it to be a really supportive environment here at SCU. So yeah, email me.
So could I just add something, Katie? Look, please feel free to let us know what sorts of opportunities you might appreciate for skills training and resources and so on. It's not like Katie has a set agenda of what she wants to achieve. What we've found in the past is that the workshops and the resources that work best are the workshops and the resources that people have asked us to provide. So we more or less act to facilitate that. So don't just wait for what Katie sort of puts out there as something fun or useful or whatever. Feel free, particularly if you know if there's a group of you working in the same area who could all benefit from the same sort of workshop, please let us know. And I'm sure we'd be more than happy to sort of help you out there. And the other thing too is, look, the Praxis Conference isn't just for research students. There may be many coursework students who are working in areas of policy or health or education or whatever, where there are areas for potential reform and policy development and all that sort of stuff. So please feel free, even if you're not doing your research degree, But if you feel passionate about interrogating some discipline or some area of work or industry, to bring that material along as well and crash test that at our Praxis conference. We'd love to hear from more coursework students, truly.
And what's wonderful about this year is doing the conference online is such a great opportunity to upskill. And we are so open to being really flexible with how these things are presented. They don't necessarily need to be presented live. You could record a video that is then presented at a certain time, which are all really valuable skills. Learning to communicate in this kind of weird online space is a skill. And I think it's going to be a really beautiful situation where we can really scaffold that learning together. Because as we always say, that the motto of the SCPA is postgrads helping postgrads to succeed. So we're postgrads and we want everyone to learn from each other. And I think that Praxis really exemplifies that, where we all learn from each other and build each other up. Well, well, thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you.
It's really wonderful to see people turning up. In the chat, I've popped a link to our membership form. It's really important that we have a membership register, which really helps us when we apply, because our service is funded through your SAF fees. And it's really important to us that we can have a really robust membership. It's free. We will work really hard to offer as many services and to support you throughout the year as well. So the link should be there for you to just click on. It's really easy to fill out the form. So if there are no more questions, I will say goodbye and thank everyone for coming.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Katie. Nice meeting all of you. See you later. Have a good week.